Hello everyone, and I guess we're back for session 4 of learning Angular 2. So where were we from the last time we were running this session? I believe we were going through, or we'd gone through the first two sections of the tutorial. So we'd gone through the hero editor here, and we'd gone through the master detail, and we came up with something like this, where we've got a list of heroes. We can click one, and the information's at the bottom. We can actually change the name of it. So we can say Mr. Nice Guy, and that reflects up in here. And even if you click on it, it's highlighted. I think that's pretty much where we got to after the first two lessons. Now, just to recap, this is just a unordered list with a ng4 directive on it. So if you look over here, go start ng4, let hero in heroes. We create a template, and it's got, as part of one of the conditions, we'll create a class that has the value of selected if the current hero is equal to the selected hero. So in this case, it'd be the selected heroes here, and change the class, otherwise it just won't include it. We've got a click handler for on select. So when we clicked on it, so if we scroll down, we had an on select method here, and then basically it just selected the current hero to the selected hero, so that updates this condition. But not only that, I believe because we chose the selected hero, it also opens up this here with this ngIf, and then it basically goes through and loads all that information. We can go and edit the name. Cool. Got a bunch of styles here too, which I mentioned in the previous session. Didn't really particularly like this, but it's part of the lesson, so I just went with it. And then we've got our collection of heroes down here, which are bound at the top through this property here, through the AppComponents property. And then you can see up here, there's the heroes. And I think that's it. That's the main things we need to know that we worked on the last couple of lessons, or the last session, which was 2 lessons. So let's move on and get to the next part of the tutorial. So what do we got here? Multiple components. Our app is growing. Use cases are flowing for reusing components, passing data to components, and creating more reusable assets. Let's separate the heroes list from the hero details and make the details component reusable. Here we go. This is what I was talking about yesterday. I found it was weird. Not yesterday, or whenever I did the last session. I found it very weird that everything was contained within the same AppComponent TS file. So it looks like they're going to break that apart now, which is good. Now again, I've set up the light server over here, so they keep recommending this at the start of every tutorial, so I just do that before I run the recording. So we've got making a hero detail component. Our hero list and our hero details are the same component in the same file. They're small now, but each could grow. We are sure to receive new requirements for one and not the other. Yet every change puts both components at risk and doubles the testing burden with the benefit. If we had to reuse the hero details elsewhere in our app, the hero list would tag along for the ride. Yep, that's why I was confused. Our current components violate the simple responsibility principle. Yep, absolutely 100% agree with that. It's only a tutorial, but we can do things right, especially if doing them right is easy and we learn how to build Angular apps in the process. Let's break out the hero details into its own component. Okay, I'm cool with that. So I'm going to create a new file and call it hero detail-component, hero-detail.component.ts. Okay, let's do that. So file, save as, and we're going to call that, hero-detail.component.ts. And inside of here, we create a hero detail component as follows. So we're going to import the default component information. So component info input. Okay. So we're grabbing two. We're importing two classes from Angular2 / core. Is that right? And then we're creating a component with a selector. Right, and we're exporting that into a component. Pretty simple. Naming conventions. We like to identify at a glance which classes and components and which files contain components. Notice that we have an app component in the file named app.component.ts, and our new hero detail component is in a file named hero-detail.component.ts. All of our component names end in component. All of our component file names end in .component. Okay. We spell our files with a lowercase dash. Yeah, that's fine. Kebab case. Yep. It's similar to what they did with the directives. The only difference was you didn't have to write I don't believe you had to write directives at the end of a directive, but they used to name their directives. Like in this case, where we've got the hero-details, you used to call it hero-detail.js. So the difference they've made here is to put the dot component on the end. So the image there. We begin by importing component and input decorators from Angular because we're going to need them soon. We create metadata with the component decorator where we specify the selector name that identifies the component's element. Then we export the class to make it available to other components. Yep, okay. When we finish here, we'll import it to the app component and create a corresponding myHeroDetail element. Yep, gotcha. A hero detail template. At the moment, the heroes and the hero detail views are combined to one template. Let's cut the hero detail content from app component and paste it to the new template property hero detail component. We previously bound the selected hero. Okay, so they're still going with the concept of having just a template in line here. Still not a fan, but I'll go with it for now. Hopefully they change it soon, but I'll go with it as long as I have to. So we'll grab that if ng this junk here, and save that, and we come up here and we paste it in here. Looks good. Yep. So I'm going to put down here. Oh no, I'll do it and then they do it. Now the hero detail allows is only in the hero detail component. Add the hero property. Okay. No, can't read hero, doesn't know. Uh-oh. We declared the hero property to be hero, but our hero class is over in AppComponent.ts file. We have two components, each in their own file, and need to reference the hero class. So we solved this problem by relocating the hero class from the app.component.ts to its own hero.ts file. Yep, agreed. I'll save that first, and then I'll go to save another file. So all this stuff so far, relatively straightforward. So we go to AppComponent.ts, we grab the hero class, and we go back up to hero.ts and we dump that in here, and we save that. And then we're going to, from this, we're going to import hero into these. So import. I'm trying to do this by hand from, it's in the same directory, so I believe it's just like that. Yep. Is that correct? Yep. And I'll do that in another file as well. import hero from. Cool. Now does it actually understand it? Well, it's not complaining anymore, so that's good. Let's just make sure it's not complaining in this file either. It's not, that's good. Alright, I think I did that right. So now what? The hero probably isn't an input. The hero detail component must be told what hero to display. Who will tell it? The parent app component. The app component knows which hero to show the hero that the user selected from the list. Yep. The user selection is the selected hero property. We should update the app component template so that it binds its selected hero property to the hero. Probably if hero this, but it might. Okay. The body might look like this. Hero equals selected hero. Okay. Notice the hero property is the target of a property binding. It's in square brackets to the left of the equal sign. So square brackets is a property binding, okay? What's the difference between that and just writing it hero like you used to? Angular insists that we declare a target property to be an input property. If we don't, Angular rejects the binding and throws an error. We'll explain more input. Okay. There are a couple of ways we can declare that hero as an input. We'll do it the way we prefer by annotating the hero property with an input a decorator. Okay. So let's do that. So decorators with at input like that. Yep. Okay. Let's just make an input. Yep. Okay. Refresh the app component. We will return the app component and teach it to use the hero detail component. We begin by importing the hero detail, so we refer to it. Okay. Let's do that. So we go import hero detail component. Spell it right down from hero detail component. Yep. And then find the location with the template where we remove the hero detail. Well, that was at the bottom here. So just there, and type in my hero. So far, I understand what we're doing here. I hope everyone else understands as well. So all we're doing is we're just shifting the hero details that was originally in here. It's just markup. We put it in its own file. We've defined a selector for it, which is my-hero-detail, which is what I've just put here, my-hero-detail. So we're saying whenever we find this, we're going to replace it with this. Alright. Now I still got the word selected hero in here. I'm assuming I have to put hero. So ng if hero, like that. So I'm gonna go by the rules of the document so we don't get confused. So I'm not changing anything that they haven't asked to change yet. And then we've imported that in. Now we have to import the hero detail component in so that we can probably see the component that's necessary for this part. Also down here, nothing's really changed here yet, other than we've removed the hero class because it needed to be used by this class as well. So we're also importing that in, as that's now a separate class, a separate TS file. So breaking out classes into separate TS files, so it's also imported there. And that's what I've gathered so far. So I think that's pretty much right, from what my understanding is. Now what I need to do, according to this, is I need to bind the hero property, which requires square brackets. So hero property is equal to, and then the selected hero property of this app component. Cool. So far I'm okay. Now let's go down a little bit. Now component template should now look like this. There's, yep, pretty sure I was right. Thanks to the binding, the hero detail component should receive a hero from the app component and display that hero beneath the list. That the details should update every time the user picks a new hero. So they're saying this shouldn't work yet, which is probably because of the situation of this here. So I'm just curious, but I'm going to run it. Refresh. So you still got the same binding, that's all working. Click this, nothing happens. I'm assuming if I go to the tools, I need to find the proper shortcut for this. There's no errors, just says me binding. Anyway, let's see what else they say. Click the heroes, no details. We look for an error in the console. I just did that, no error. It is if Angular were ignoring the new tag. That's because it is ignoring the new tag. Okay. The directives array. I think I remember seeing this in the examples, on the home page. The browser ignores HTML tags and attributes it doesn't recognize. So is Angular. We've imported a hero detail component, but we've used it in a template, but we haven't told Angular about it. We tell Angular about by listing it in the metadata directives array. Let's add that array property to the bottom of the component configuration. Right, okay. So, comma. Directives equals it's an array, yep. Hero detail component. Oh, sorry. This is a JSON object. I'm just in a JavaScript object. Okay. Now if I save it, will it crash? So it's still not going to work. I'll go and check the. It's got errors now. No, still no errors. Okay. I'm probably jumping the gun a little bit. So I did that and it doesn't work for me. It works. Did I miss something? Oh, they've already changed it. They've changed it here already. I missed this part. Right, okay. So let's go back and do. What I'm going to do, I just copy and pasted it from my code, and then I probably should have got it from their code. Ah, you son of a bitch. Semi-right. Now if we run this again. There we go. Okay, cool. So now this is in its own little component. It's linked up by just selected. So let's have a look at what we just did here to revise. I know, you know, if you're just playing around yourself, you probably won't do this, but I'm just revising for myself and for you guys. So what we had previously is we had this information which had selected hero written here. This was populated inside of here, where this now, which this part now resides. But we wanted to put it in its own file, so we took it out. We created a new component.ts file. We imported the component and input classes, or input decorators from this core framework. We also imported the hero class, which we exported out into a file on its own because we needed it in order to have a hero object for this class. And then we included the ngF logic that was in the previous component, dumped it here, gave the selector my-hero-detail, which you can see now here is my-hero-detail. We then did a property assignment to selected hero. So that's still from the app component down here. Still got selected hero. So this logic still works because it's still contained within here. And that heroes list is still here as well. So far we've extracted away the details information, but the list information is still in here. And I'm thinking what's going to happen next is that now we're going to extract or take away the lists, and we're going to have a way to communicate between the list element here and the details element, so we can keep them isolated from each other. So when we modify one, it doesn't affect the other. So I reckon that's going to be the next step. So we've gone through all this. Yep. Through that. Yep, we went through all that. Works, reviewing the app structure. So yep, we have a hero, we have hero detail, we have a main, we have an app.component. Yep, that's all what I've got. Okay, so that's the first part of the chapter. That was pretty quick. I'm surprised they didn't break out the list, but they might do that as part of this services one. Well, they should. They couldn't. It's a bit silly to leave one out and not the other, anyway. Services. So the next part is services. Actually, I might just stop the video here just because these videos get quite long, which means they take a while to buffer and upload to YouTube. So I might break this out into a second video. So I'll see you, I guess, in a few moments. See you then.